readers, welcome back to Parents Help Kids Learn, where we're learning what good readers do. And then at the end of each lesson, you practice together. Let's review the 4 strategies that we've learned so far that good readers use when stuck on a word. Good readers sound it out, look for chunks in the word, look at the picture, and skip the word and then go back. So boys and girls and parents, make sure you're practicing all 4 of those reading strategies to figure out difficult words. So you'll have a toolkit, so when you come to a difficult word, you'll have some options to figure it out. Because one strategy may not work for every one of the difficult words you come across. But when you have 2 strategies or 3 or 4 that you can use to figure out a difficult word, you're going to have a really good chance of being able to figure out most difficult words that you'll come to. We have a new reading lesson today, and our new reading lesson is, while reading, good readers ask themselves, does it make sense? Let me repeat that because this is our lesson today. While reading, good readers ask themselves, does it make sense? And what that means is, as you're reading along, if something doesn't make sense, you need to tell yourself that doesn't make sense and then try to figure out what it is that doesn't make sense and try to fix it. For example, if you are reading The 3 Little Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf, this may be a sentence that you may come to. I'm going to read this sentence and I want you to listen to hear if you hear something that doesn't make sense. Then the wolf yelled, "I'll come down the chimpanzee and eat you." Does that make sense? What part of that did not make sense? Tell your parent. Were you thinking this part, chimpanzee, didn't make sense? Well, let's try to figure out that word. Now we have 4 reading strategies that we've learned that help us to figure out a difficult word. Which one of those should we use to figure out this difficult word? Let's use the reading strategy that we will look at the picture. Look at the picture on your screen and see if you can figure out what this difficult word is. Did you figure it out? So let's see if you're right. Let's sound it out together. Ch-i-m-ni, chimney. Did you have the right answer? Isn't that fun? So by looking at the picture, did you see the chimney that was on top of the house? And so you were thinking that must be a chimney. And that is the word chimney. Let's read it and then let's see if it makes sense now or if there's another word that we need to fix. Ready? Then the wolf yelled, "I'll come down the chimney and eat you." Does that make sense? Good job. Let's try another one. Let's read this one and see if it makes sense. The pigs never saw the wolf again, and they lived happening ever after. Does that make sense? No, that doesn't make sense. What part of this didn't make sense to you? Did this word happening not make sense to you? It starts out with hap. Let's see. If this is the word that doesn't make sense, let's try one of the 4 reading strategies that we know. Let's do the sounded out one. Let's do it together. Ready? Happily, happily. Let's put that word happily with the other words in this sentence and see now if it makes sense. Read it with me. The pigs never saw the wolf again, and they lived happily ever after. Does that make sense? Well, I'm glad that we figured out that tricky word, happily, because these words, "and they lived happily ever after," those words are at the end of many, many fairy tales. And if you can become familiar with them, it will help you to be able to read the end of fairy tales correctly every single time. Nice job, boys and girls. Readers, once in a while, you may try all the reading strategies to figure out a difficult word and you still can't figure it out. If that happens, as a last resort, ask someone. Let me repeat that. As a last resort, ask someone. For example, if you were reading this great book, Amelia Bedelia by Peggy Parrish, there's a place in here that she is going to make something special for Mr. and Mrs. Rogers, and it is a pie that has this word in it. So you may try to sound that out and you aren't able to figure it out. You may try to look for chunks in the word and blend them, not able to figure it out. You may look at the picture, not able to figure it out. And you also may skip the word, read on, and then go back and reread to see if you can get some clues from the words after it and not be able to figure it out. In that case, as a last resort, ask someone. And if you were to ask one of your parents or one of your grandparents about this word, how it's used in the book is lemon meringue pie. This word is meringue, and meringue is a special topping that goes on top of a lemon pie that's made from egg whites and sugar. It's beat, it's put on the top of a lemon pie, it goes in the oven, and it gets nice and brown on top. This is a tricky word to figure out by using our reading strategies. So there are going to be times that you are going to, as a last resort, ask someone. Now it's your turn to read together. Choose some just right books, and while reading, ask yourself, does it make sense? Because that's what good readers do. Happy reading, and I'll see you next time.